What's good, buddy? It's your boy Hockey, and today we're going back to Blueface just clown the entire streaming world. Blueface has been in the media again, bro. Is out and he's doing his thing with the content, and I've honestly been liking it. But let's get straight into it. Drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Road to 500 subscribers. Let's go.
DDG had a first day out stream with Blueface, and since then they've been collaborating, both working on a mixtape together, which got announced. I think I saw it on a clip from Neon stream, but Blueface he's out. Since Blueface has been locked up, streaming was not as huge as it is now. Yeah, Hakireacts was the big streamer, but now there's like a whole industry that's developed underneath him that's hip-hop adjacent with a lot of rappers. In this case, let me just give you two off the top of my head. DDG, you also had Ty Dolla $ign, you had Kanye West streaming, formerly known as Kanye West, Ye streaming, Digital Nas, the producer. Who do we got? We got Sunny Digital streaming now as well, although I think that's more so on X. So that's already 5 people within hip-hop that have come after like the wave of Hakireacts. With that being said, on the stream, Blueface says something quite insightful, even though it's not all the way correct, and we have to address it. I'm gonna play you guys that clip right now.
Let me show you something, bro.
Well, yeah, let me see something inspired me.
That's what I'm trying to do, bro. You gotta know what the wave is now.
I'm saying you can't ride the wave, gang.
Huh?
That's what I'm saying. You can't jump on every wave.
But you're not
gang.
a regular rapper. That's what
you
I'm
gotta
trying
know.
to tell
YouTube
you.
was a wave, right? That's dead now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being a rapper was a wave, right? That's dead now, right?
No.
I'm saying each of these things was at the height where everybody tries to do it. It has that wave. Everybody want to do YouTube right now, right? At one point, everybody wanted to be a rapper, right? At one point, now this is the wave, man. Everybody wants to be a YouTube and streamer, right?
Yeah.
This gonna go out of style too. Man.
I don't know about that one, bro. It's going to be a while before, because if you look at statistically, YouTube is almost watched more than every other streaming platform. And that's YouTube combats Hulu, Netflix, Prime, the huge conglomerate companies that offer streaming services. They battle that. I think it's 52% of YouTube people that watch YouTube watch it on their TV. I watch YouTube on my TV. I don't watch TV shows. If anything, I'm watching YouTube videos, podcasts, trying to upgrade my knowledge, or occasionally, I like to watch stuff that's just like funny, and I'll watch stuff like this, stuff like that, or very rarely though. You know what I'm saying? I really just be reacting to these videos on camera. Like if I'm watching stuff like this, it's on camera. But I would watch stuff like this off camara too, but I'd just be busy. But
it's just be a fool to think it's not gonna go out of style.
But
brother.
it's a hard entry. Like this August, nigga, boom, right? Don't.
So DDG and Neon, which I'm gonna play you guys another clip a little bit later, they were telling like, yo, Blueface, you should hop on stream, you'd be entertaining. And let's be real here, he would be entertaining, but there is a little bit of caveat. So in this clip, you hear Blueface talk about like, yo, everybody wanted to be a YouTuber, that was a wave, and music, rapping, that was a wave. So let me describe what Blueface is saying here, because some people will say, well, like a lot of kids still want to be YouTubers, and there's a lot of Roblox YouTubers that are new, and there's a lot of YouTubers in general that are new, and people still want to be that. What I'm saying is, what he's referring to is a specific point in time when everyone thought that they could become a YouTuber. And I would say that this was post 2015, 2016. I think if you were on the internet.
Yeah, it was like 2016, 2017. Like whenever you had people like Rice Gum blowing up. PewDiePie had been big for years, but I feel like PewDiePie really went ridiculous in like 2016, 2017. A lot of the bigger YouTubers that we know right now, like Markiplier, Corey X Kenshin, stuff like that. Dashy been doing YouTube forever, but I feel like a lot of these people, like YouTube had a big push on the internet in like 2016, 2017. Casey Neistat, like everyone wanted to be a vlogger. Everyone wanted to record video games on YouTube. Like everyone wanted to do these things because it was the thing. Just like streaming is the thing now. Like you can still be the other things of the past waves. You can still do those. Like I'll never really stream. I'll be honest. I don't like streaming personally. I've done it before. I used to stream, it's just not for me. But
Like the mainstream person, I don't think they knew too much. But I think that was the year that they released how much PewDiePie made and Jake Paul and these other guys. That may have been 2017, 18, regardless. And then people were like, yo, this guy made $40 million. What's going on here? Markiplier made this much. What's going on here? And people were watching Casey Neistat and things like that. And a bunch of people were like, oh, this is going to be the money-making opportunity. I'm going to hop on here. And a lot of people were trying to be YouTubers at that time. It was like a bit of a wave. And the wave died because a lot of people were just trying to do really basic stuff, thought it would be easy, and thought they'd be raking in the cash, like a get rich quick type of situation. So that wave slowly faded out. Now the rapper wave is a really good one, because if you were on Twitter from the years, now you'll probably say the rapper wave was 2017, 18, the peak of everybody trying to be a rapper. And I would agree, like you had people tattooing Anne Frank on the side of their face, like dear God help us. But around 2014, 15 is where I would say it started on Twitter mainly. Now if you guys remember, there was, damn, I forgot the guy's name. He was like one of the like Twitter OGs. Like there was Oprah Side, who's like OSN now. I don't know what he's doing now, but he had turned into a YouTuber, but he was one of the biggest guys on Twitter. And there was this other guy that would turn into a rapper later on, and he would go by the name of 909 something. I remember the producer he worked with was 909 Memphi, I think. But this guy was a really big guy on Twitter. And the meme around Twitter at that time was everybody had a SoundCloud link and everybody was sending you their SoundCloud link. Like everybody was trying to be a rapper. I'm telling you, it was like OF links in 2022. It was just everywhere. And even now, I think like the OF thing is a little bit ridiculous, but they're trying to get better or less intrusive with the marketing. So at that time, people were like, oh, here's another SoundCloud link. And you just started dismissing SoundCloud links. That phase, like you said, 2018, that kind of died out. And now, especially moving towards 2020, it became really difficult. And Blueface was one of the people that blew up in 2018. So the wave of everybody trying to be a rapper is not really much of a thing right now. Streaming is where everybody's like, oh, and that comes with when people started seeing these big deals with Kick, Aiden Ross, etc. Yeah, XQC, they see these guys on jets. They see these guys high rolling, buying $25 million cribs. They're richer than rappers. And they're like, damn, this is insane. You see the amount of money that DDG just buys a new Ferrari. So now everybody thinks that they can become a streamer, especially after Streamer University. And he's calling this just a wave. And he's trying to focus on what he knows best. And this, I think, is such a good trait by him to exhibit, because a lot of people are just, he's like, listen, I'm gonna keep the main thing. I'm not gonna hop on the shiny object syndrome that everybody else has got and mess my stuff up, because more than anything else, longevity has been here with music for a very long time. Now the streaming thing, what DDG is saying makes sense in that there's a high barrier to getting popping enough on stream to where you're making a bunch of money. And what he's saying is like, yo, Blueface, you're already lit. You've been on IG lives, getting a ton of viewers. You know how to beef and joke around and not be too much of a tough guy, but also not be a punk. And you have the perfect setup to launch pad into making a huge bag consistently. And he's right. But does Blueface want to be streaming consistently? And this is where we're going to roll into the second clip where they were talking about it with Neon and saying how he feels like a lot of the streaming stuff harms certain artists. And I'm going to play you guys this clip right now.
The longer I'm on here, the more lame I'm going to indulge in. And then after a while, I'm going to be like, man, it's not, what's up with the rapper, you know? Yeah. They hold you up to a certain standard as a rapper, and you gotta hold yourself to that, you know? Of course I could jump on here and make tons of money, but it's for example, this is kind of like popcorn, you know? Put it in the microwave, content probably lasts a day or two, you know? Rather than if you go do a TV show or a production, it's more like better, you know? Same content created, but it's just a different lane. It's like you gotta be mindful of how people are looking at you, you get me? And it's easy to get distracted with this, brother. I'm telling you, I done been on live and myself doing lame, you get me? Not saying y'all to do it, everybody do it. You have to do it in order to see the max benefit, brother. I done been on live too long and I'm like, damn, I'm just kind of like, y'all at this point, I'm like a clown to y'all, like whatever y'all say. Come on, Chad, what y'all want to see? I want to see me fall on my face? 1,000 gifted, I'll fall on my face right now.
1,000 gifted, I'm falling on my face. I'm falling on
Come on, gang.
I feel it though. I know. I get what you're saying.
As an artist, you can't do that, brother.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose your stock.
Yeah, being an artist and like trying to do this is kind of hard. Like
You can't.
When he was talking about the TV show or production, it's more better. I think he's tripping off of that and when he's talking about image, like,
Yeah, no, he's tripping off that for sure. People don't really watch TV like they used to, bro. A lot of people that watch TV are bots or older people. I'm just saying, like a lot of people really don't watch TV, bro. I so heartily believe in that. But we're gonna keep playing, y'all.
when we were seeing Blueface getting hit upside the head with glass bottles by Krishan Rock and then getting the glass vacuumed out of the back of his head and the embarrassment that ensued with everything that Krishan Rock did, we didn't think better of Blueface's image. So I think he still has this incorrect assumption that, like,
I would have been left that crazy, bro. Yo, like, what's wrong? Somebody needs to beat her ass, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like, someone needs to dog walk
yo,
her.
you know,
Real
the
shit.
TV or like a program, it's more better. I don't think that's the case. But when he said this is kind of like popcorn, the content lasts a day or two, he is certainly correct. With streaming, the cycle moves so fast, and I've seen it to where a streamer puts on an amazing stream and then a day and a half later, 2 days later, they're like, yo, when's the next live? When's the next banger? And you're like, dog, you know how much planning it took for that to happen? Like, the life cycle is very, very short for streaming content, and you're always thinking like, okay, when am I going to drop another? When am I going to do another one? Like, I'm on the clock after this next stream, and that's all they think about. Streamers, they're all thinking about like, yo, what's the next stream? And some streamers have, I don't know if I would say a better audience, but an audience that is less demanding. So like an XQC, for example, like he can do something big every now and then, and it's seen as like, oh, this was a great moment, and then the rest of the time he's just chilling. But some people, they're expecting like action all the time, more from IRL streamers than anybody else. But what Blueface is correct about is talking about the music. The life cycle of music is very, very long. Like, dog, we have in the top 200 albums, we've got Beatles still ranking up there. We've got like the Eagles still streaming consistently. And
Fleetwood Mac is still Fleetwood Mac Dreams is still in like the top. Hold on. What is Dreams by Fleetwood Mac ranked? Number 9 on Rolling Stone's 500 greatest songs of all time, and number 1 on the Guardian's ranking of their 30 greatest songs. The song was also Fleetwood's only number 1 single on the Billboard Hot 100. Yeah, it's still ranked this high. And I only know that song because like Spotify, I was listening to the DJ and like Spotify was like, yeah, top 50 most played songs or something like that in the United States. And it's still one of those songs, because if you make a great piece of music, like artwork, that shit will live on forever. Look at Clothes, bro. We got Clothes that released in the 90s, 80s, that are still loved and looked at as historic pieces, and they're vintage now. Now they're worth 10 times as much as what they used to be back then, because art, in my opinion, gains value over time. Basquiat paintings only grow each year in price and value. Music and art. Well, music is a form of art. But I'm just going to say art in general holds a lot more value than content. But what I will also say about content is that what YouTube is now doing is they're pushing out content that is like 10 plus years old out to people. I just saw a video that was like literally called Ants on Drugs. That is a 16-year-old video. It was uploaded 16 years ago, and it's obviously from the 90s. And it popped up, and I went to the comments, and literally everyone was like, yo, dude, who else just got recommended this? I've gotten like a lot of spirituality videos that were 10 plus years old that have been getting recommended to me recently. And so that, if you make a good enough piece of content, just like if you make good enough music, it can last a very long time. But that's on the YouTube side of things. Like, streams are very fast. Like, yeah, the streaming life cycle for content is very short. You're gonna stream, and then you're gonna drop the clips from the stream, and the clips might circulate for maybe a week at most, and then the people that were watching the stream and looking at that content, they want new content now, so they have to just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And it's a little bit like that with YouTube, but I still have some videos that are older that are still gaining me views. constantly. People, you know what I'm saying? So it's just it's a good way to look at it.
And let's just take a more recent artist like Blueface, right? Blueface has been locked up for what, 2 years? And Blueface is not even a top artist that we would consider. He's not a top rapper. He's what, C tier rapper? And Blueface, who has not dropped an album since, well, he dropped that Free Blueface that nobody listened to. Yeah, that thing was a quick, they dropped that on Whack 100's thing, I think. But before that, 2020 was really the last time a Blueface album dropped. And Blueface, coming out of jail 2 years later, or prison, he still has 4.6 million monthly listeners. And that's just on Spotify. So he's still streaming consistently on YouTube, still streaming consistently on Apple Music. His active income. They're like, hey, we're earning this much from Twitch on ad. You're streaming. So if you weren't streaming, the only earnings that you would be making are from subs, donations. People are probably not going to be making donations whilst you're not streaming. So subs are going to dip because people are like, yo, why am I subbing to this person that's not even streaming? Let me move my sub elsewhere to somebody that I'm watching.
Which I want to just say this, Bruce Drop him off is one of the only people that I will see that like people were still subbed to him even when the whole time when he wasn't streaming, even after the Kai situation, even after that. And he came back to streaming and made a bigger return than like damn near he had when he was in his peak of streaming. So it differentiates, but you got to be a real solid person and you have to have a real good community. And that's what matters, is building that community to grow. I'm slowly building my community, but we're going to slowly build this up. And if you're one of those people that watches every single one of my videos, just know I love you and that you're the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? But
it's
hey,
just that music is a lot harder to make. Like certain artists, they just had 1 or 2 hits, like just 1 or 2 hits. I'm saying that as if it's easy to achieve, which it's not. It's impressive, which is why I always got to put respect on Designer's name for getting a diamond hit. A song like that, you're done. That's it. Unless you're spending like a madman, you're set. And there's safety and security over the long haul with music. And this is Blueface having regretted times that he's hopped on IG Live, which was totally for free, and doing stuff where he's like, yo, why did I do that? One of the things that he reflected on was one of the dumbest crash outs he has was when he was outside pulling up on Soulja Boy, trying to get it in with him, like hands wise. And he's like, why did I do that? That was such a dumb thing for me to do. So even he's realizing he's getting swallowed by the force that is the chat, telling him and directing him into new things. And like these guys were saying, like, yo, I'm falling on my face for 1,000 gifted. Okay, so now you can just be bought. And that can kind of harm your image. Now, I do think to counteract this, I don't think a Ty Dolla $ign has been harmed by this, largely because I think the majority of Ty Dolla $ign's fan base that listens to his music aren't involved in his life, don't know what he's got going on outside of music, and don't even know that he streams. DDG, I think, has always been somewhat of a hybrid. Like, for example, when Blueface is saying you got to consistently do lame stuff, I really, as much as we, like, you know, have criticisms of DDG and things like that, and we also show him love when it's due, I don't think DDG's really doing anything corny to, like, harm him or lame to harm himself as a rapper. Like, DDG's just kind of just chilling. That's really it. And I think like the content that DDG does, he doesn't push himself. And I think push is the wrong word because it almost gives away the meaning that like push himself as in try harder. He doesn't force himself into doing content that he feels is not aligned with him as a personality, which ties into who he is as a rapper as well. So I think DDG is a good example of somebody that's done it. Ye is also somebody that's done it well, but I don't like a Ye, we don't want to see that person live. Well, some people say we. Who's we? I don't want to see that person live too much. Like just a little glimpse into what's going on, and it's okay, pull us back out. Because there's this spell around, this shroud of mystery around people like a Ye, people like The Weeknd. It's like, yo, how do they make this music? How does this come together? Now, if we get to peer into a live stream of Cash XO and he's in there with the studio with The Weeknd, and you see off to the side Belly's over there writing and laying down reference tracks for the next hit song, I'm going to be depressed. And it's not because I don't already know that's happening, but to see it in front of me, it's like, wow, this is a lot less.
Takes away a little bit of the mystique of like, oh, he's an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, yeah, we know these artists don't write a lot of their music, bro. But for me to see that visibly, it's going to take something out of the music. It's going to take from the music for sure. 100%. You're not going to look at the rapper the same, the artist the same. You're just going to be like, like, it's cool, but like, they're not doing the music themselves, bro. So like I feel a little, you know, not disingenuous, but it's just it's breaking my trust a little bit. I thought you was this and you're not this. I feel hurt. Type thing. But yeah, for sure. I see what
magical
you're saying.
than I expected it to be from hearing the final product. It's almost like a magic trick, right? I've never looked up how to do a magic trick or how does a magic trick work that somebody's performed for me, because the bliss, like the ignorance is bliss in this scenario. Like I just have the joy of like, damn, that was crazy. I enjoyed it so much. I didn't know how it worked. I don't know how it possibly could have worked. And if I just look it up and figure it out, it's going to be dull, where it's like, oh, so that's how it works. Okay. And it just ruins the experience. Now, I have looked up a couple of magic tricks when I was like a really, really little kid that I was doing like myself, which is a little bit different. But yeah, like when it works, I was like, yo, how do they bell
Oh shit, what the
trick,
fuck?
or how does a magic trick work? That's like, I know how it worked. I don't know where it's like, oh, so a couple of magic tricks when I was like a really, really little.
All right, not gonna lie, he is yapping, but it is your boy Hockey. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I just want your guys' opinion on this. Like I said, I personally have, I actually agree with Blueface and to a certain extent for rappers. If you are a rapper, I don't think you should be like, if you didn't come into the rap game being a hybrid streamer or like a hybrid of a rapper and a streamer like DDG or Blackboy Max, I think it is gonna take away a bit of the mystique that you have as an artist, because we love mystery, bro. That's why Playboy Cardi is so loved, even though he does all these horrible things. It's just because he's like mysterious. We don't know how he records. We don't see all the goofy stuff going on. We just have to kind of assume, you know, like we don't know none of this stuff. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. It is your boy Hockey, and I'm out. Peace.